Welcome back to the Shrink Down. Today, we're going to be talking about all things 90s. Are you guys excited?
Yes.
I love the 90s.
So, we're going to be talking about how trends seem to cycle. We'll talk about what was kind of the old trends when we were younger, what's in right now as far as the 90s, what we remember from the 90s. We spent most of our 90s in middle school and high school. Four of us, I would say.
Beginning of college. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll be talking about the 90s. But before we get into today's topic, we are going to share our 4-minute faves. Lauren, you want to start us off?
Sure. I was just talking to my husband. I was just talking to Tim before we came on, and I was like, "What am I doing as my favorite?" And he's like, "How do you guys all continue to have favorite things?" I was like, "I don't know. I guess lives,
consumer
right?
culture.
Well, we are the demographic that consumes, right? Yes. So I'm sharing today, and I sent these already to Wilhelmina because she asked, which is why it becomes my 4-minute fave. My strength training gloves, my workout.
You mentioned
gloves.
them last week.
I did, yeah. So like since last year, actually last fall, I started it in a really consistent way, strength training, and then in like January of this year. I realized that like I was wanting to go up in weights, but like the calluses and the grip strength were not happening for me. And so I just, a little bit of Googling, and these are on Amazon. They are Adidas, Aero Ready, and they were like $7.99, really inexpensive. And I've probably had them since January, I would bet. And they stand up, and they took all the calluses away. They're just like such a simple little thing that made such a huge difference for me. So I figured since sort of over the last year, we've kind of intermittently been talking about a lot of things related to like the weighted vest and the strength training and the protein and all the things. So for anybody else that's on that same journey, these little gloves, and I'm sure you can get literally any brand.
They don't have to be Adidas.
Yeah, like the favorite piece of it is they actually work. Like that's probably my favorite thing.
That's good to know.
I wouldn't have thought something as simple as this would actually make a difference. And it's made a huge difference for me, both from a grip strength standpoint. There's no more calluses. I'm not like messing up my ring, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So well worth it if you're, if you think it feels silly, it does at first. But then it's like, I feel like I'm like one of those guys at the gym. Yeah. But like, I actually really, like
as long as you're not making the noises that go with it.
I'm not. No.
Throwing your weights down when you're done with that.
Throwing your weights down. Yeah.
Right.
So no, I'm not that guy. But no, they actually really work. So yes, any brand, but like if you're even considering or thinking about it, I would highly recommend. So. Yeah,
Lauren, I was going to ask because you did send me the link. What size do you have? Because I was a little bit like, I don't know what size. Good idea. And so I was like, I'll just ask Lauren.
I'll have to send you. I bet you I just picked medium. Like,
okay.
It doesn't have a little tag on the inside actually. So, but I'll look at my order
because it wasn't one of those like one size fits all. It was like,
oh no, I have a small.
Okay.
And I feel like I have a very normal size hand. Yeah. So yeah. And because they're cut off. Like, I feel like you would want probably the smaller size because you're not worried about length. It's more, you want them to be tight. Okay.
The pads of your hands.
Yeah, exactly. Fit at the pads. So, yeah. What about you, Wilhelmina?
So mine is a little unusual. I actually called Owen beforehand and I was like, this is my idea. Is it weird? He's like, no, I love it. I'm like, okay. So, I know that I had talked about The Summer I Turned Pretty and watching that with Maddie and how that's been a highlight. Well, last week was the finale and we had so much fun watching the finale. And then it has been so fun being a part of the Instagram world with all of the people talking about it, reacting to it. And so my favorite is actually weekly release shows. So any show that releases weekly, and it's interesting that we're talking about the 90s today because
that's how it used to be.
That's how it used to be. Exactly. So I was thinking about like how big a deal the Friends finale was, right? Where it was, or like even when it aired,
Sopranos,
like Thursday night, Sopranos, exactly.
Yes.
And
Sex
there
in the
was
City.
something
Sunday night,
about
that was HBO Sunday night with Sopranos and Sex in the City.
Yep.
Or Thursday night where you had ER,
the Friends,
Seinfeld, all of those. And so it's a shared experience where I don't feel we get that as much because everything's so spread out. And so having these once a week release shows, one gets you to like build that anticipation. It gets you to kind of like be a part of community because people are talking about it. People are like predicting things, and you feel like you're a part of something. And I know we talk a lot about like the dangers of social media and sort of like the downsides to it, which there are, but I have enjoyed feeling like I'm not the only middle-aged woman who was like, have you rewatched this scene 50,000 times and downloaded Taylor Swift's dress? Yes, I have, like, because that's a Summer I Turned Pretty reference. So but it felt so, it was like a connecting thing at a time where I feel like our world and our country feels very disconnected. And so, another show that my husband and I started watching, which might actually be my fave for next week, but is also once a week release show. And so I'm like, that's like my big new thing. If a show is once a week drop, or a couple of my Korean shows will like drop 2 episodes a weekend. So then you have to wait. It's just fun, and it brings that shared experience back. And I love that.
It's funny.
So I know that's kind of a weird
one. The thing is, you could create it on your own, but then nobody else is following that same, like, it like, unfortunately has to be forced now.
And it's hard when all the episodes are there. It's hard not to like go to the next one and binge watch if it's not there. But I think it's also nice to have something to look forward to. Like I feel like we've talked about this, how everything seems to be like go 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 go. It's August and we're thinking about Halloween, and I hear there's Christmas stuff up already. Like we're always like rush to the next thing. That I get why you're saying that, and it's nice to just slow the pace down. Waiting is okay.
Waiting is okay. Having a cliffhanger. I mean, how many times towards the end of this show did it end? And Maddie and I were like, no, wait a whole week. It was like, it was just so fun. So, it's brought a smile to my face all week long. And I can't get enough of like the reaction videos of people doing also watch parties. So like
a lot of the
together.
college girls I do therapy with have watch parties at their college. They all get together and have watch parties for that show.
It's so cute. And seeing these girls like just get so excited about the reactions and the scenes, and it's just fun. So that's it. Terry, what about you?
Mine is a show. You guys probably heard of this. Maybe you've started watching. I think it came out last week on Netflix. I'm not 100% on that.
I know what you're going to say.
Black Rabbit.
Yes.
I haven't heard it.
With
I
Jason
almost
Bateman.
did that.
Yes.
Are you all surprised that I have no idea what you're talking about?
So I was driving last week and home from work or something, and I was listening to NPR, and they were interviewing Jude Law. So Jude Law and Jason Bateman play brothers, and they are the main protagonists and characters in the show. And I'm listening to this interview on NPR. It's Jude Law doing the promotion, and really caught my interest because they played a scene from the first episode. My husband is a huge Jason Bateman fan. He was a huge fan of that Arrested Development show. He can quote it. I mean, he loves Arrested Development.
Love that show.
I really like Jason Bateman too. He directs all the episodes. I'm not sure if he's a producer or not. It is an ode to New York's restaurant scene. They are brothers who both have a lot on their plate financially and running this restaurant that's this very trendy club/restaurant in New York. My only caveat thus far, my husband calls me, I'm such a hater about this stuff, I'm having to pause any believability that Jude Law is a New Yorker. So once you put that to the side, it's funny.
I was going to ask you, like, what does he sound like in the show? Because
he doesn't go over the top, but there's a little twinge of trying to sound New Yorkish.
Okay.
So well done visually. Jason Bateman, I thought he was a great actor. He is phenomenal in it as an actor. The storyline is captivating. You guys know me. I rarely finish a show or a series. I lose interest pretty easily. This one, I cannot wait for the kids to go to bed. And if we're both around at night, I want to watch it. So it's Black Rabbit, which is the name of the restaurant in the show. The name of the restaurant's Black Rabbit. Highly recommend. I think it just came out last week, but I think all the episodes
Yeah.
are in one.
All the
fell
episodes
swoop.
are out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
listening to Smartless and their Jason Bateman's podcast with Will Arnett and Sean Hayes, and they were talking about he had sent them episodes and how good it was and blah blah blah.
It's
And I was
good.
like, ooh, so
It's
it's on
good.
our list. Haven't gotten there, but yeah, it's on our list. So yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, it's a little bit like The Bear meets Ozark,
Yes.
I would say.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
kind of that restaurant
genre.
A
plus
little bit of
yeah, it's
grungy.
a
Yeah.
little grungy.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a
gritty.
visually it's a visually like gritty show, but
Yeah.
it is good. Yeah, we're only one episode in. but
We're only 2. So I'm hoping to fit in the third tonight, maybe.
Mhm.
How about you, Vanessa?
So I am sharing Toto. Have you seen these? They're
No.
from Thrive Market. Okay. So I am obsessed with these in a very
Writing it down.
strange way.
They're cute.
So
Yeah.
you can get them on Thrive
Cute
Market. And
packaging.
actually, that's where I found that they're the best price. They are, it's a chocolate chip cookie, sea salt. They have different flavors. So they're cookies, but this is sea salt chocolate chip. It's like the texture is like soft batch cookies. And it's a
Ooh, yeah.
woman-owned company, which I
Also writing it
love.
down.
And you can actually understand what all the ingredients are, which I love.
Huge.
And a couple of things in there that I really like is that they include organic mushrooms, which I know sounds weird, but I swear if you're not a mushroom, you cannot taste them in here. Like
Love
zero.
mushrooms.
It tastes like a chocolate chip cookie. They're so delicious. Good amount of fiber and protein.
Any
you know, 'cause
xanthan
there's
gum or dextrose in it?
I can read you the instructions, the ingredients. So it's almond butter, organic coconut sugar, organic oat flour, water, vegan chocolate chips, flaxseed, pea protein, baking soda, vanilla extract, sea salt, and the mushrooms. That's it.
Beautiful.
And they're so good. I know that sounds weird.
Probably soft,
and
probably
even
soft, right? It probably makes them.
I think that helps make them
Yeah.
soft. Yeah, I swear
Yeah.
there is no weird texture here. This tastes like a regular old soft batch cookie. They are so good. And I went to Home Goods this weekend, and I think I know I always forget about the like little goodie section at Home Goods,
Yes.
and like you can
Mhm.
find some like really good things in there.
My
and
mom,
so
my
they
mom does. Yeah.
they had these there, and they were like the cheapest I've ever seen them. So I bought all of the boxes on the shelf. I go up to the register, and it was this young guy. I think he might have been flirting with me, but he was like, "So do you have to cook these?"
Oh God, shut
or
up.
are they pre-made? And I was like, no, they're already
That's
cooked.
funny.
You just eat them. But I probably looked like the crazy woman who had 6 boxes of these.
You're selling them though. I'm
Yeah,
sold.
I know.
I'm sold. I'm in.
Well, so here's another one. So Mark, my husband, who is like pretty picky when it comes to stuff like this, he was kind of about these. And I was like, I swear, just try them. And I say picky because he's like very health conscious, and
Mhm.
he's also trying to stay away from all the like, junk. And he was
Additives.
like, that is a good cookie. I was like,
Hmm.
told you, it's a good cookie. It's a good
Mhm.
cookie. So it's weird, but it's good. I mean, weird being that it has mushrooms in it, but Toto. And there's other flavors. I have not tried any of them. They look great, but I'm obsessed with the chocolate chip sea salt one. So if you're looking for
Nice.
a healthy cookie, strongly recommend.
Awesome.
All right, ladies, thank you for sharing. So let's get into the 90s. What do you guys remember the most from the 90s?
For me, the music
Mm-hmm.
and some movies and the fashion. I think the look, just the 90s look, which really, from my perspective, evolved from grunge, early 90s,
Mhm.
mid 90s grunge, evolved more towards the Friends, Rachel type of look.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like
As
the Delilah catalog.
yeah, exactly.
Delia.
Delia's.
Yeah, Delilah is the
Radio lady.
radio person.
Yes, I think there's a
Also
whiskey bar in the
90s.
city called
Also
Delilah.
90s, yes.
Yes.
Wasn't
Um,
there a song? Hey there, Delilah. Yeah.
yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. Which I don't think is from the 90s, but I think yes,
It's
there's a song.
Yeah.
So that's what I personally remember, and I also, again, we were in high school for like I think of high school as the 90s,
Yeah.
and
For at least half of it.
for at least half of it, yeah. Like I was
Yeah.
in high school, and so we all were, and I think just things felt calm. I don't know if that's the
Mhm.
right. The big, huge controversy was Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. That was huge and dominated news and headlines and things. Again, this is pre 9/11. So things felt, but again, I was in high school. But when you look back statistically, there was a lot more financial stability in general.
Yeah.
People were very prosperous just in terms of the housing market and rates and, income, et cetera. I think there was more political stability. There was more financial stability. So I don't know if that eked into what I was perceiving as a teenager, or I was living in my own little selfish, egocentric teenage bubble.
I think that's true.
Well, but part of it is like it's the concept of nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
will only nostalgia is this like recreating memories, and we're going to have a positive spin on them. We're not remembering the negative stuff. I mean, that's part of it, right? So yeah, I'd be curious if we asked our parents
Like
about
what they
that
recall.
same
Yeah.
time period. And if, right, like part of it is the age and stage we were at, we weren't paying attention to. So even if historically there was more stability, I mean, the Gulf War was in the 90s though, too, like early
Right.
90s, right?
Well, I
Like
think-
there wasn't like, it's more of how we perceive it, because that was an era where we didn't have a whole lot of responsibility and probably not a
Yes.
whole lot of awareness.
Well, because
about what
I
was
think
going
social
on.
media changes that. So when I think
That's a
this
good
was
point.
pre-social media, right? Like there was none of that.
Yeah.
If you wanted to know what was going on in the world, you either picked up a newspaper. You guys remember newspapers? Or you watched TV. So I feel like, especially if we were in high school during most of that period, that there was less opportunity to consume that information too. So I think that plays a role in all of that too. I think some of my like biggest memories from the 90s is Nirvana. I was a crazy Nirvana, whole Green Day girl, going to the thrift store, buying my, bowling shirts from a man named Rusty, his old bowling shirt. And then I spent a good chunk of my 90s, going to raves. So when that was alive and well, that was before, I think someone said recently that these concerts, what are they calling them, are kind of like replacing, they're like the new rave, like the concerts that all the kids go to now is kind of like the new rave. That's what I remember from the 90s.
Yeah.
The Jankos, the lots of glitter in my life.
Yes.
I was looking at the trends that they were talking about, like from like what are the trends that are coming back that you're kind of like you have nostalgia for versus the ones you're like, no, those can stay in the 90s. So some of the ones that they listed were bucket hats, which I was like a big
my
like,
God.
oh
Back
no, those
and
can
I
stay in the
hate them.
90s.
Yeah.
Oh my
They
God.
don't actually provide any shade, and any woman
No.
They're ugly.
our age is going to try to shade their face.
No, chokers
Zero utility.
are coming back,
Oh, I
The
could think
chokers,
about a choker.
which I also said I could leave in the 90s. But the one that I thought was really interesting was collectibles. And so in the 90s, it was Beanie Babies,
yeah.
and now it's the Labubus.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Which
yes.
I
Or those
thought was like,
my daughter likes to.
yeah, whatever. I mean, like all that silly stuff. I was like, all of those I could leave. But they said scrunchies also making a return. And I'm like, well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
Oh,
a
they
scrunchie.
have. Oh, yeah.
So I could
I've got a
take
bunch.
scrunchie.
I love a
She's got
scrunchie.
scrunchies and chokers.
Actual flash photography. And I was like, I would like, I love that. Like seeing
Mhm.
like teenagers with like a real camera, like it's kind of fun.
Yes.
So those were the ones that I was like, oh yeah, those can come back. I think those are cool.
Well, it's funny now. I feel that the bands like Nirvana, for example, like if you go and look on Urban Outfitters, even Target, the t-shirts, the sweatshirts are all, I'm like, I know these bands. And in fact, there's an influencer that I follow, and she had this like really cute Nirvana sweatshirt. I think it was like last fall, and it was from Urban Outfitters. And I bought it. And then I thought, is it weird that I'm buying this? But then I was like, but I actually listened to Nirvana.
Right.
I actually know this band. Like, I don't think it's weird for me to wear this. Is this weird? I wasn't sure. I still wear it, but I had a moment where I was thinking, is this odd that I'm wearing a Nirvana sweatshirt?
I do wonder. So there definitely has been a resurgence among teens, young adults, young people in terms of embodying the 90s. So it's not just the fashion looks or the hairstyles, it's the music, the movies, the TV shows. Like I know Wilhelmina was going to mention people are rewatching Friends. I know I was coming home with a few friends from this like dinner thing, and this teenager, we're walking by a high school, the teenager walked by with a loudspeaker playing Slipknot. which is like this heavy hardcore band. Like my husband used to listen to him, and my friend Steph recognized it because she used to listen to a lot of that kind of music. And she's like, that kid is playing Slipknot. She's like, I listened to Slipknot when we were teenagers. And so they're fully sort of embodying it, but they weren't even alive in the 90s. So it's so interesting that there's something that's really capturing some young people, like the music, the look, the everything. I don't know.
I had a whole group of friends in high school that did that with the Beatles, though.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And I
Grateful
had
Dead.
some friends that were obsessed
Yes.
with the Beatles and the Grateful Dead, and that wasn't a thing in the 90s. They weren't making new music.
Yeah.
So I do think there is that that tendency.
Yeah.
That we find something of our parents' generation that we actually like,
Those
and
cultural cycles.
yeah.
Well, it makes me think, when I was thinking about the 90s and I was thinking about the things that I like remember or associate with the 90s, which Terry, you just mentioned it, Friends, Thursday night TV. So it was like ER, Seinfeld, Friends, like I talked about earlier, that experience, Blockbuster. Actually going with your friends on a Friday night to rent a movie, and the shared experience of walking through the aisles, finding out what was new.
It was part of the night. That was like the first part of the night.
Exactly. And you would like, do we want something funny? Do we want something scary? What do we want?
Should we get two?
I just, it
Cup
was
of popcorn.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
one of my best friends, Erica, she worked at Blockbuster, and so that alone was, I hadn't even heard like of a Blockbuster, thought about it for the longest time, and all of a sudden I was like, Blockbusters, I love it. And I kind of think this was one of the last times before the cell phones, before smartphones, and it was like people hung out, people talked like friends. What do? They sit around and they talk. Can you imagine a show like Friends being made today? What would that even look like? Like, would they have their phones? Would they be on their phones while they're talking to each other? Like, what would that look like? So it made me think, was this one of the last things before we got shoved into this totally different world, totally different kind of age of disconnection, I sort of think.
Things felt more connected.
Also yes.
Yeah.
That actually reminded me of like pagers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Remember the codes? You would have different codes.
07734.
Oh my God. I was not in the pager group.
Oh my gosh.
That is funny.
Yes.
Definitely had a page.
I would wear
funny.
overalls and I would clip it in my overalls.
Oh my God.
Go walking around.
Those have come back.
Yes, which I'm here for. I like a good overalls.
Yeah.
Do you know the two trends that I would not want to see come back? And I hope they don't, and I haven't seen them yet. The real narrow sunglasses.
Oh God,
no, they're
I
back.
know.
I've seen some. I don't know that they've latched on to that, but I've seen a couple of influencers and I was like,
I don't think they look good on anybody.
They're sort of like bucket hats. They're just not.
And as a side note on the bucket hat, my husband loves a bucket hat. I can't stand him.
Mine does too. He has this one that he's saving, and I keep trying to throw it away.
Stupid
I'm like,
in
if
it.
you
He looks so
ever put this
stupid.
on.
And then he got our younger son Tommy a bucket hat, and we are listen to this. We are at a Bears game in the front row at a preseason game. They filmed us. We are now part of the rotating NFL on Fox commercial montage with Tommy in a bucket hat cheering. It's very quick. They show a whole montage for the Chicago Bears games. We are
that's
part
sort
of
of
the
adorable.
NFL Fox montage of us cheering with Tommy
That
in a
is
bucket hat.
funny.
Danny's also in a full
kids
bear
in bucket
costume.
hats are cute.
I know. I was like,
and he has his glasses and he looks cute. The other trend I do hope does not come back, and I don't think it will. I think we're past it. Is the ultra thin eyebrows.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
That
God.
we all. I mean, I was victim to it. All my friends. It just was. I mean, I remember my grandma looking at me.
Like, I don't think you have anything more to pluck.
Yes,
He's
and
like, there's like nothing there.
I remember my grandma looking at me and saying, "You better hope those grow back." Because they might not. And being
Well,
like,
that
why
was
would I
something
want them
that-
to grow back? I look so good. They're so thin.
That was actually trendy. I wouldn't be surprised that someday it does, because that was a trend even before, like that cycled through too.
Yes.
Because my grandmother, who's 93 6 now. She had the super thin pencil back
Same.
in her day. And
Same
so
with my
she would
grandma.
always, she ended up having the microblading done at some point. My grandma's wild. So she actually had that done because she's like, I don't have any more eyebrows, because back in her when she was young in her 20s, that was the style, to just literally have no eyebrows. So
Yes.
I hope I will not be partaking if that trend comes back, because you know what? It took a long time to grow these babies back.
Oh, exactly. And that's from
to that.
and those cultural cycles I was
Right.
reading about, sometimes the sort of typical cultural cycle they say is 30 years, give or take. So there might
That
be
makes sense.
15, 20
That
years,
makes
30
sense.
years. And they said part of it is that the people who are in positions at companies who are branding directors, marketing, so right now, those people are Gen Xers and older millennials,
Yes.
they said.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
that is what's driving some of it. They
Some
can
of
do
that
a
trend.
twist on
Makes
it.
sense.
Yes.
Mhm.
And those
It's
people,
what they're familiar with, and
they have deeper and then we have deeper pockets now at our age.
Yes.
And so we're going to spend the money for our teenagers and our tweens and ourselves, if the certain trends that we like that came back. So I think that makes sense, what explains some of those cultural cycles.
And I've seen that in movies where when we watched movies or TV shows and it was like it was based in an older time, it was like the 70s or the 60s. And now if a movie or TV show is sort of it's 80s or 90s,
Yeah.
because it is like it's our generation making these things, and they're thinking about their childhood and their time. And I've seen that shift like over and over again. Holiday movies, things like that, where you're now seeing that. Mixtapes. You remember making a mixtape?
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Get
Yes.
the CD into the tape, or
the radio.
getting your show, your song on the radio, and you would call up and you'd be like, I would like to listen to November Rain by Guns N' Roses, and then you would hope to God that they played it, and you'd have your recorder
You'd have
ready
to press
for
Yes. I had an ex-boyfriend, a guy I dated in high school after our breakup, leave me a mixtape that he made that was taped over like a regular tape in a box. And I remember my little sister Gina coming home, and then I got home and she's like, there's a package for you. And I'm like, you can open it. And she's like, it's a tape. And I was like, I have to go listen to it. And I remember going up and putting it in my little boombox thing and like listening, like, what songs did he put on it? What message is he trying to tell me? It was a thing.
So
Mixtapes were a thing.
The CD players are also, I don't know, at some point they came around, and there's a test that we give in psychology that they have not updated in quite a long time. And so I have a CD player, the NEPSI.
Oh, the NEPSI, yeah.
So I have a CD player in my office. It's like an open-faced one. And so I still use the CD player. And I know I have people who have like recorded it since, so I could put it on my computer.
I have it downloaded.
Yes,
I
do
do
too.
download.
I have it downloaded too, but I just like doing it off of the CD player. So the kids will call my office and they're like, what is that?
Right.
Oh.
I'm like, well, this is how we used to listen to music in the olden days.
Oh my God.
That's what my daughter refers to. Anything.
the olden days.
The olden days.
Last century.
That's what they said in the olden days. Okay. Thank you.
That's
Were
funny.
low-rise jeans 90s, or is that 2000?
I think that was.
I know they're making a comeback. I hope they stay far, far away.
That was
no one needs to
2000.
see
I
your
think-
ass crack. No,
Yeah, I
we
think
didn't
it was
need to
the
see it then.
2000s
We don't
because
need
I
to see it
definitely
now.
did
that
not
was the
wear them in
so
high
like
school
Britney
or-
Spears and all them got pretty big once we were out of high school. But I think
early
that
2000s.
look. So I think
Early
that was more early
2000s, yeah.
2000s.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. Okay.
Yes. That's another trend that I will not
because
be
They're not
partaking in.
forgiving.
They are not.
Mm-mm.
They're just
When you
not.
wear
No
the
matter.
thong
Cannot sit
and you have the
down.
thong
You cannot
coming
sit
out
down.
of it. Like,
Yes.
Your
Yes.
whale tail? You mean your whale tail?
Oh, I've never heard that.
look.
You're right. No. Whale tail.
Well, this is
Like the tramp
this
stamps.
is a very educational podcast.
Oh, the tramp
Yes.
stamp.
Well, the tramp
Yes.
stamp was a big tattoo
Well, that's
Yep.
why you had one,
Mhm.
so that you can show them in your
in your
low-rise
low-rise
jeans.
jeans.
Your whale tail and
Yes.
your tramp stamp.
Also trends that are okay to stay away.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, I cannot tell you how many people I know who are trying to get rid of tattoos that that trans stamp tattoo because of the location. It kind of
Yes.
it dates you.
It
Yes.
really does date.
It
you.
does
Like
date
you
you.
see.
I mean, that was like it was trendy. That's where you
Mhm.
put your tattoo.
What do you guys like that's back? What do you guys
Bootleg
like?
jeans. Bootleg jeans.
Okay.
Yes.
I love the Birkenstocks,
That's a good
the
call.
clogs,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Birks,
Yes.
just the sandals. They're comfy. I think they look cute. I'm really a fan of all the Birkenstocks coming back.
I read an article that 90s Christmas is going to be coming back. Like,
What does that mean?
that's like a trend, and just like the idea of like not so aesthetically.
Ooh, I love this.
Oh.
I'm there for
Pleasing's not
that.
the right word, but just like lots of color, like lots of things,
Not matching
and I was like, I
ornaments.
could,
Not so
yeah,
not
I'm
so
like, I could get
curated
behind
looking.
that.
Curated.
So
Yeah.
just
Not
what
so
I
curated.
do all
Thank
of the
you.
time
Yes.
will
Yeah.
just be now
Yeah.
popular.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yes. Where it's a
But I
hodgepodge
liked
of
that idea.
decorations.
I
It's
was
like,
Yes.
I
Yes.
Colorful
love that.
lights that I just
Yes.
throw on my bushes, and I'm like,
yes.
All the colors. Yes. No netting. Oh, that's so gross.
Yeah.
Yes. I love
Wrapping
so
it
I loved
around
that
and
idea.
hoping
I don't
to-
yes.
It's like you wrap it
Open to
around, you just hope that
interpretation.
that's symmetrically, that it's, all symmetrical, and then you
and
figure
it
it out when you
isn't,
turn it
but
on.
it looks great anyway.
Yep.
Looks
I'm like, I
fine.
like this. I could get behind this. So
Was-
yeah.
When was tinsel? Do you guys remember tinsel that you like?
That was more like
that
70s, 80s,
80s?
I
Yes.
think.
I
Yeah.
feel
When
like
we were
it's-
kids, that
Like
was
a little bit
thing.
of a fire hazard.
Yes.
a little, just a little.
Just a little. Just a little.
Pets, cats. You're going to see that tinsel
yes.
again.
Right.
Small children.
Actually, you're going to see it, but both ends, really, with the cat. It's like that thing.
I
like
also
no
have
tinsel.
a fear. I partly think, and this is so biased, that the '90s music has
So
been
good.
pervasive. First of all, it's so good, and there's such a variety of it. And I listened to everything. Like I was really into Pearl Jam. I was really into hip hop. A lot of my friends I hung out with were really into like heavy music. I remember going to Ozfest. I went to Lilith Fair. I mean, the amount of shows and
Lilith Fair.
concerts that I went and saw Wu-Tang and Rage Against the Machine. Like I just went to so many different concerts and shows in high school. And my friends all had listened to a variety of music. Like we weren't all the same.
Mhm.
And it seems like 90s music has been pervasively popular for like 10 years now, young people listening to it. And my husband will be like, because there's some good music that's come out lately, but there's not a ton. And even my kids listen to 90s sports jams. My 8 and 10-year-old will be listening to
That's
like
what
these.
they'll play like in the
Yes.
sports facilities
Yes.
too. Yes.
And so that's
yes,
what they
yes,
play.
yes.
So that they like it. And I'm always like, man,
that's
this
funny.
90s music is just everywhere. And do you guys agree or disagree that love of it is related to there's just not as much good variety of music lately? So everyone's still listening to the old stuff, or are we forcing our kids? I don't know. Like we're forcing people to still listen to it.
You know what I am curious about with that? I remember falling in love with an album, the entire
Yes.
album, where you might
Mm.
like the song that was popular and why you bought the album, but then you find the ones that you're like, oh, no one knows this song unless you had that album.
Yeah.
And then you know that song. And
Mhm.
sometimes, I mean, the way they laid out the album, the story, like it often had like a sort of theme or story or whatever. And now music is written for the just
The
to
hit.
drop one at a time.
Like singles.
Like
Yeah.
singles. So that you want to catch people as opposed to have this experience with a CD. I mean, I can put on any of my like 90s albums and still know every word of every
Oh,
single song.
Every
The entire
311,
album.
every Beastie Boys album, every 311 album, I could still recite to this day almost every lyric. And I also remember poring over
Oh yeah,
the booklet.
the
And-
booklet.
Yes.
The
Oh, yeah.
lyrics.
Because the
and
lyrics
all-
would be
yes.
in it, and who did they dedicate it to? I mean, you
Yes.
could really, that's what you would do while
Yeah.
you were listening, is you would open it up and read
Yeah.
it cover to cover, whatever the fold out thing was.
I think
All of the like female grunge, like kind of like the
Like I know every word to every
yes,
whole song.
garbage.
Mhm.
Even like, I mean, this isn't grunge, but like Sarah McLachlan, all of these like just
The cranberries.
Yeah.
the cranberries.
Yeah,
Yes.
my son likes the cranberries. I'm like, on what? Like,
Well, I think it's part of, like you said, with the clothes trends, right? The people who are kind of putting it out there, who are in charge of, right? That's part of it.
yeah,
But I
movies,
think
TV.
Throwing it out there. Yeah.
They're throwing it out there, right? And when we were kids, think about the music what they were playing when you went to a live sports game, and it was like the music that your parents knew, right? So part of that. But I
Yeah.
also think what you were just saying, Wilhelmina, is how music was created back then also feels very different than how you bought the CD, you bought the tape, right? And if you spent your money on that, you were sure as heck were going to listen to it, because you couldn't just go to Pandora and pick, the one
Yep.
song you want to listen to. So it's I think it's a very different experience than how people experience music now. In addition to, we just drop a song and it's like, this one song's popular, and then we kind of move on to like, what's the next popular song? Do you guys remember when we went, and I've mentioned this on a podcast before, the last time we went out, when we were in Savannah and we went to that bar and we were like, we know every
All
song.
the songs.
Oh yeah.
Yes. They were playing like us. Like they were
Yes.
playing
We're
our
like, we knew every song that they were playing, and
I remember
seems
some
like
of
the
those
younger
guys
people
that
there
we were-
also
yes.
did. And so,
Yes.
I mean, again, the DJ was probably around our age, which again could have contributed to it. But I felt like all the younger people there knew the songs too, and they were all dancing to it. So
That's what I'm
I was
talking
like,
about.
This is not the first time they've heard this, so it was kind of. I remember us thinking like, that's weird. Don't they have their own music?
My daughter's
Yeah, that's
girlfriend,
what I'm saying.
my daughter's Girl Scout troop. They were playing. I remember this was like a couple years ago. The Spice Girls, "Wannabe," and they knew all of the words, like the same way that I know all of the words. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
"Where are they hearing this?" Like, I mean, other than us, I guess. But I was
Through
like,
us.
I don't know.
Right.
But it's
Getting this song.
interesting because Terry, you mentioned before, I think, like, we're the consumers. So, like
Right.
in terms of like marketing and branding, if it's women in their 40s, right? Is the
Mhm.
age range like women that are like essentially running households?
Right.
So probably, 40s to, I don't know, 60s or something like that. Like they're the ones that are spending all the money.
Mhm.
There's all sorts of 90s reunions for all of the boy bands and all the people that
Oh my
we used to
gosh.
listen to. And those are hugely popular, as well as the TV shows.
Yeah.
They're going to different cities, and people are spending money on tickets to go see these people and these things.
The Dawson's Creek
so
reunion.
It's like out there in the
Yeah.
ether. Well, we just had, I sent you guys, I know this is
Yes.
early 2000s, but there was 100,000 people in our little town of Brighton for a Gilmore Girls.
So
They
huge.
made the town Stars Hollow.
I think it's so
They
cool.
had Luke was there from the Gilmore Girls show and did it was the amount of, so I follow a bunch of the little boutiques in the bookstore downtown. So each place was like a place in the show. They put like like
clever.
they would for like a Hallmark movie. They put
Yeah.
like a sign up that said whatever the coffee shop was
Luke's
called
Diner
and stuff like that.
And
Thank you. And they did all sorts of like little nods to the show everywhere, and they had a town hall, and they did all sorts of things. The amount of people that flew in from different states, they had shuttles from all the hotels around here.
Gosh.
The amount of money that must have been made at these stores, and every store did
Mhm.
something that was specific to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then people were just
Clever.
buying things from these stores. So like there is like, when you ask like, why are we listening to the music? I think like if we're the consumers and people that are, in marketing and things in these companies know that we're the ones that are going to buy it, pushing it out makes a whole lot of sense, because we're spending the money,
Right.
and then our kids start to learn it and all of that kind of stuff.
Right. And I mean, we'll be driving in the car, going to sports or running errands or whatever. And one 90s song will come on and my kids will love it. And I'll be like, oh, wait, I've got 5 more that I can play for you that you're probably going to love. And so then I'm also fueling it because I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
you're like
yeah.
this. You're like, and same with the movies.
Exposure.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. Like, oh,
Yep.
like, I loved this movie. I wonder if you'll love this movie. Oh, you liked this movie. I bet you'll like this movie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's funny. We just started watching the Wednesday series.
oh, it's so good.
It's
I know.
good.
So I know you had talked. I think you had even. I don't know
I
if you
think
talked
it was,
about it
was
last
it
year.
one of my
shared
faves
it.
last year.
Maybe.
Might have been.
But
I watched. Yeah, it's
if
so
it
good.
wasn't, you talked with us about it,
Yeah.
and so this time of year, I thought it would be fun to do like over the next month or something like that. And it immediately, I'm like looking at Christina Ricci, who's in the show, and I'm like, oh, you guys would love. And I'm thinking of all of her movies, so I'm
Uh-huh.
going
She was
back to
big
the
in the
90s.
She was a
Yeah,
90s
We just
and
staple.
watched
so
that.
yeah.
Because Ev is too young to watch
Oh.
the Wednesday show because she's only 8, and I was like, this
Yeah.
is too scary for her. But I loved
Yeah.
it, so that's a good one. So I actually had her watch the Adams, the one
original?
with-
Yes,
Yes, the
that's
original.
what I told the
Yeah,
boys.
so
You
we
would love
watched
this.
that.
Yeah.
So
The
she wanted to watch
the black and white TV
No,
show.
no,
from the
no.
No,
60s?
no, no. The new
No.
one with Christina Ricci. The one
Yes,
with
from the
Christina
90s.
Ricci.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Yes,
Yeah.
with Angelica Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So we
Yes,
watched
yes,
the Addams Family and the Addams Family Values, and she
Yes.
loved it. She was
Yeah.
like, and then she was so
Watch
much
that.
into it that we then watched the newer version, which is the cartoon version, which
The
is also really
cartoon one,
cute.
yep.
So
Yeah.
it's so like it's funny because I was watching it and there were some things in there that she was like, "Mom, what's that?" And like I was like,
Oh.
"I don't know." So it was funny that I remember watching that as a kid and not and being like, oh, there were some inappropriate things in there, but not terribly inappropriate. But
inappropriate. I'm like, what, like a phone on a wall?
no,
Okay,
no,
no.
no. So just like some of the language I think in the second
Oh.
one was a
Okay.
little inappropriate. Again, nothing
Right.
nothing crazy. But
My
she
kids
was like,
don't know any of
I was
those
like,
words. So
they weren't bad words. It was insinuate
like
there was some
sexual
insinuation.
innuendos.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of that in
she,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was, I mean, nothing
Especially
bad. It
with
was
Morticia or whatever.
It was the second
Oh.
one with
Morticia.
when what's her name? She's
She's like sexy Morticia.
what's her name? The blonde lady. Oh my gosh, Wilhelmina, you have to know this. Can't remember her name. She's in Addams Family. The Values,
Yes.
the second one.
You mean Joan Cusack when she was the
Yes.
Mhm. I don't know
Can't
who she
remember her
played,
character's
but
name,
yes,
but it's her
yes.
character where she's
Yes.
got some sexual innuendos. Anyway, it's such a great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch it. It's good. Great time of year to
And
watch that.
the new one is really, really good, and it does tie in some fun stuff from like the Christina Ricci era. It's really good. It's really good. But I would say that, well, your kids are watching it. Yeah, we started watching it when it came out originally. So 9 when it was last
Yeah,
year.
I was going to say Jack is
Griffin was
10 and
9.
Sam is 12.
that's
and
fine.
it's there's little scaries,
Little
but they're not
bits.
jump scares.
It's
they're
more
not
scary.
jump scares.
So-
They're just,
Yeah, I would say not
yeah,
inappropriate stuff. It's scary. So that's
It's scary.
my kid's like a
Yeah.
scaredy cat. So I
Yeah.
was like, that's a hard no
Yeah.
because I'm gonna get the like in the middle of the night. I'm scared.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, we've
So
been
if your
okay so
child
far.
is
But
a
yeah.
scaredy cat,
Yeah.
no, it's
I
not
think like 10
inappropriate.
is probably good.
yeah, it's a little
Like
scary.
general.
That's the only
Yeah.
reason. Any other '90s trends, memories?
Do we think
No,
it's-
one thing I was
yeah.
going to. Oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, no.
Go ahead, Terry.
I was just going to say, as we're wrapping up, how long do we think this ride is going to last? Like in terms of it, but maybe you have a different thought before we get to that, Lauren.
Well, no, I was just going to say, I think nostalgia in general is always going to be there.
Yeah.
One of the things that I looked up when I was just like looking up the idea behind nostalgia, right, is it reduces cortisol levels.
Yes, I saw
So
that too.
it
I saw that
yeah,
too.
so like just from a psychological
lean
standpoint,
into
there's a
it.
reason that
Mhm.
there's a
Mhm.
reason that like we're all smiling and laughing when we're talking about this. It makes you kind of feel good. You forget all
Yeah.
the bad parts of being a teenager and having, zits and whatever, all the stressors and things like that. You just like remember the good and it makes you feel good. It reduces your cortisol. So sort of to answer the question you posed, Terry, yeah, I think it's going to continue. It will just move on in eras.
What
Yeah.
what era it's doing. Yeah, I read a similar thing where it was saying that
Yeah.
especially during kind of like uncertain times, being able to look
Yes.
back at a safe space and remind us of who we
Mhm.
were, who we are, what we value,
Mhm.
and doing it together, is something that does it's a bonding experience.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna keep wearing my Nirvana sweatshirt then.
There you go.
I
You're
know.
very on trend.
Yes. All right, ladies, that was a great throwback to, down memory lane for all of us.
Mhm.
And please join us next time on the Shrink Down. We're going to be talking about drugs, cigarette use, alcohol use. So next time you join us, that's going to be our
Drugs.
topic. All right. Take care, everyone.